So I'm definitely happy they're off the street.
Now at 5, it was a crime that shook the community. Tonight, 4 young people are under arrest for the deadly shootings that killed 4 young adults.
We have a couple of serial bank robbers that are operating in and around the Indianapolis area, and they've spiked our numbers for the first month and a half.
Bank robberies on the rise, and tonight investigators need your help tracking down a suspect they say is responsible for several in the Indianapolis area.
This is definitely the start of something great.
James Hinchcliffe is coming back to race at Indy. The mayor of Hinchtown will be on the track with a familiar team after a disappointing off-season.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Now at 5, 2 weeks after the murders of 4 young adults on the northeast side, 4 people are now under arrest for their murders.
3 are 19, 1 17, 2 are brothers. RTV6's Troy Washington is working for you and explains how the uneasiness the murders left in the community ultimately helped crack the case.
There's sometimes a code of silence that sweeps over neighborhoods when it comes to crime.
I'm glad they got them.
But investigators say in this case, after Marcel Wills, Braxton Ford, Kimari Hunt, and Jalen Roberts were killed inside of this apartment in the 4100 block of Shady Oak Drive, witnesses wanted to talk.
If they kill 4 people, they don't care about humanity, period.
Perhaps it was the nature of the crime that kept them from holding their tongue. Young people ranging from 19 to 21 shot multiple times and killed. Investigators say the tips came in fast, then social media gave them an extra hand.
The apartment complex where this took place had excellent surveillance footage.
That video ultimately led investigators to Rodrice Anderson, Cameron Banks, Desmond Banks, and LaShawn Watkins. We reached out to the family of the victims to get their reaction to the arrest. Right now, they tell us that they are focused on laying their loved ones to rest and continuing the grieving process.
It's just all kids, now 8 lives gone.
The youngest 17 and the other 3 19, all facing murder and robbery charges. According to witnesses, there was gambling going on inside of the home before bullets started to fly. According to court documents, the place was ransacked and a patio door shattered. If convicted,
there are 4 separate counts of murder. There are 4 separate counts of felony murder. We are literally talking in the hundreds and hundreds of years that these individuals are potentially going to serve.
Working for you on the east side, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And all 4 suspects will face a judge tomorrow. The city announcing today it's sending more help in the fight against gun violence in our city. More resources are being dedicated to the Crime Gun Intelligence Center, which is key in investigating evidence gathered from crime scenes. The center will be assigned more staff and more training for additional forensic investigating officers.
Just a month and a half into the new year, and the FBI's Violent Crimes Task Force is busy. Right now, they are seeing an uptick in bank robberies across the state. RTV6's Nicole Griffin is working for you, finding out why agents believe there is an increase and how you can help them track down the suspects.
Banks across the state are being targeted by criminals.
Bank robberies are not victimless crimes.
Special Agent Stephen Secor with the FBI in Indianapolis is on the Violent Crimes Task Force, which is responsible for investigating bank robberies.
I have seen bank tellers who are the victims of robberies never go back to work in the banking industry.
In the first month and a half of 2020, the FBI reports 21 bank robberies in Indiana. That's compared to just 7 in 2018 and 2019 during the same time frame. The spike this year, according to Secor, is due to at least 2 serial robbers, including 25-year-old James Taylor, who the task force needs help tracking down.
Knowing who this individual is, we'd like to put an end to his robbery spree.
Investigators believe that Taylor is responsible for at least 6 of those bank robberies. They believe this is one of the most recent locations he robbed, the CIBM Bank on 82nd Street.
He's also an individual that does a little bit of his homework. We have a couple of banks we believe that he's been casing. We have made our banking partners aware.
I'd say the last 5 years, the FBI and banks have really been much more proactive about sharing information, particularly if there is a singular threat.
Dax Denton is a former bank teller, but now works with the Indiana Bankers Association. He says employees are constantly going through training to prepare for a robbery.
The real two key takeaways for us is teller knowledge about how to identify behavior or certain perceived threats as they enter the institution, and then having kind of a checklist of risk assessment and how to manage that.
The FBI has made several arrests in bank robbery cases already this year. They hope to get the community's help now, tracking down James Taylor before another bank is robbed.
What would you want done if one of your friends or family was the victim of a crime?
Working for you in Indianapolis, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Well, out of the 21 bank robberies this year, the FBI says 10 of those are in the Indianapolis area. Police say the other serial robber has been arrested. They believe that person was responsible for 2 robberies. You can call in tips to the FBI or at Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
We're in the Storm Team 6 Tracking Center with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory, and the sunshine was a very nice thing today. Definitely
Did it seem busy when you came over to the Tracking Center area where we relaxed?
No, very busy. Always so busy.
When it's sunny, you know we're not busy. That's the good news. We've had lots of sunshine today. It makes 37 feel a whole lot better, especially when it's not that windy. Martinsville's at 40. These temperatures, though, will be getting colder. I think our coldest 24-hour stretch within the 7-day planner starts tomorrow into Friday morning. Temperature in Indy, as you can see, 37, 39 in Columbus, 35 in Lafayette. A couple of changes on the way. You begin to see the first here. These high, thin cirrus clouds will filter the setting sun. Then we'll inherit more clouds as we go through the night tonight. Snow out in the Central Plains and rain down along the Gulf Coast. We're protected by high pressure that will keep us dry for the next several days. Temperatures, they'll be in the 20s by the time we gather at 11. The clouds will have taken over by then as the bus rolls into the neighborhood tomorrow morning. Temperature at 21, not the coldest in my forecast. And the afternoon, we've got morning clouds giving way to at least some sun, and 29 tomorrow afternoon.
Only on RTV6 is a first for the Metro Police Department. Its current recruit class has more officer candidates that are bilingual or multilingual than any other in IMPD history. Our Rafael Sanchez reports on the skills needed as Indianapolis continues to draw visitors and businesses from around the world.
Go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
From the exercises.
You may go here.
To the emphasis on training.
Then go wide again with another hook.
The endurance required to earn wearing a police badge takes weeks of agility, academics, and an attention to details.
Policing has changed, but I feel like we need more people to step out and really kind of help build community relations with the people.
But this Metro Police recruit class, unlike any other, has set a benchmark. It includes the largest number of officer candidates who can speak multiple languages.
They see a Spanish-speaking officer and they tend to get more comfortable.
So para usted quiere usar su lengua todos los días?
Sí, señor. Si algún día puedo llegar a la gente, para mí sería un placer.
Beyond the Spanish, recruit officers can speak Russian and Bosnian.
I'm here to help. It is okay to approach us. We want to help. We want to be there for your community.
And there's Portuguese, the language spoken by Indy 500 drivers Tony Canad and Elio Castroneves.
Que somos todos seres humanos, todos estamos aqui here to help people that need help, and we're just regular people like everyone else, just doing a job.
Some will be the first members of law enforcement in their families. Others are following in a parent's footsteps.
He was officer. He had this uniform back in Ukraine that I used to wear when he wasn't home. He loved helping people.
In the city they call home, where anything can happen, these recruits are prepared to serve, protect, and speak to people on a global scale.
I want to be one of those officers where I show up and people want to come and talk to me.
That was RTV6's Rafael Sanchez reporting. The 20th IMPD recruit class is made up of 54 people in training at the academy. It is the first class with the most foreign languages spoken.
Tonight we are hearing from the owners of the now closed Indiana Beach Amusement Park in White County. We learned yesterday that the amusement and water park resort on Lake Schaefer, Monticello, is permanently closed. The message on the website tells the same story and gives people an opportunity to submit questions. The park had been in operation since 1926 and was typically open from late May to late September. About 27 people work there full time with upwards of 900 seasonal workers. The official statement from the company reads in part, quote, "Despite significant effort and a great deal of investment in infrastructure and rides, we have not seen an improvement in operating results. As such, we made the difficult decision to cease operations. This was not a decision entered into lightly." They also said they are working to minimize the impact on the employees.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's commitment to keeping you informed about job opportunities now and in the future. And today, an India-based medical device manufacturer announced it has selected Noblesville for its American headquarters. Panacea makes equipment used in the diagnosis and treatment of cancer. The company plans to build along the I-69 corridor at 141st Street and Oleo Road. It plans to create 65 full-time high-wage jobs by the year 2023. Hiring for sales, engineering, operations, manufacturing, and service positions will begin next year. Groundbreaking is set to begin this summer.
Still ahead, one of IndyCar's most popular drivers will be back at the track in May. We'll talk with James Hinchcliffe one-on-one as he returns to a familiar team.
And as his fans are holding on to hope, Ryan Newman is holding on to the hands of his little girls as he walked out of a Florida hospital. The latest news the NASCAR driver received from his doctors today. Next.
And temperatures will be significantly colder, but briefly colder. We'll talk about what happens when this moves east of Indiana. Coming up.
One of IndyCar's most popular drivers has found a ride this season.
James Hinchcliffe is returning to Andretti Autosport for 3 races in 2020, including the Indy 500. The team made the announcement today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Hinchcliffe lost his ride with Arrow McLaren SP late last year. He had been working hard to secure sponsorship and a team ever since. The new deal with Andretti includes 3 races, the Grand Prix and the 500 here in May and at Texas in June. Sports Director Dave First caught up with James after today's big reveal.
James Hinchcliffe, he's now busy in the month of May with the road course race, the Indy 500, then Texas after that. But you go back to when things didn't work out with the old Schmidt-Peterson group. Here you are. Now, that must have seemed like a year between now and then.
Oh, yeah, it's felt like a while for sure. It's been a busy off season. A lot of phone calls, emails, text messages, meetings, on planes, sleepless nights. But you know, at the end of the day, I think what was supposed to happen happened, and we're coming home to Andretti Autosport. You know, I've got so many great memories from this organization from the time I ran here, and
won some races there.
Won some races, and started on the front row here a couple times with them, and it couldn't have happened without Genesis. You know, them stepping up to the plate in the way that they did and embracing not just this program but IndyCar as a whole, Indianapolis as a whole. They're really getting behind other initiatives. They're going to be sponsoring the mini marathon. Yep. There's a couple other announcements coming out from them that I can't talk about yet, but exciting stuff. So to have a company with such a big presence in Indy jump on board behind the race, behind Andretti, behind myself, it's a match made in heaven.
It's a company, 850 local employees. It services some $7 billion worldwide. This is a major company. That aside, though, sadly, we're not going to see you in a car till May. So what are you going to do between now and then?
Yeah, I know for sure. It's going to be tough. You know, it's going to be weird coming into May, having that be my first race of the season. But, you know, the Andretti Autosport Group's going to get me up to speed and as prepared as I possibly can be. I'll be doing everything I can behind the scenes. I promise you that. Yeah. Who knows? You know, there's some options floating around, certainly. But I'm going to be visible. I'm going to be present. I'll be there with my helmet in case anybody needs a fill in. Right. You know, I'm kind of taking a page out of Connor Daly's book.
That's right.
And just being there.
Congratulations. Can't wait to see you in a car in May. And oh, by the way, he's driving number 29. James Hinchcliffe, get ready, folks. He's back in the month of May.
Good to hear. Looking forward to that. And here's a sight that will put a lot of worried race fans' minds at ease. That's NASCAR driver Ryan Newman walking out of a Florida hospital today, holding the hands of his 2 daughters. His race team, Roush Fenway Racing, also released another picture today. Look at that. The first was when he was still hospitalized, but clearly doing well. The South Bend native was hospitalized in serious condition after this crash in the last lap of Monday night's Daytona 500. Ross Chastain will drive the number 6 car at Las Vegas this weekend.
It's incredible to see how well he's doing. That's how you know those.
Just days later, walking out.
Yeah, because the cars are supposed to protect, so it's great to see after that horrific crash.
And holding his girl's hands, too.
All good news there.
Yeah.
Sunshine here. Temperatures, they're going to be cold next 24 hours, and then we'll make a turn. The weekend and warmer temperatures arrive at the same time. That's always good timing. All right, if you see a green box on the map here, or calendar, I should say, those are days we've had precipitation. We had 10 days in a row there in the middle of the month from the 4th through the 13th with a trace or more of generally rain, and we've had 2.5 inches of snow this month, but we're talking now about a dry stretch tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. I think Sunday, dry until Sunday night. That's when our chance for rain will increase, and that should be later Sunday night. If you've got outdoor plans, you've got a green light. You've got cold temperatures, too. 29, the magic number for tomorrow. We should be in the low 40s this time of year. We'll start to warm back up as we get to Friday, 34 degrees. Tomorrow, what's interesting, we'll have more clouds in the morning, then more sunshine in the afternoon. We'll just have to be patient and wait for that. Temperatures now, if you go to the southwest, you'll find temperatures in the 40s. 44 in Sullivan and Bedford. Connorsville is winning the battle over there in southeast portions of the viewing area at 34 degrees. Say hello to Mia, sleeping now, and has a couple toys right there, but that's her favorite bed. And the great dog, Joseph, thanks for sending in a picture of Mia. Just show this to her later if you happen to be recording to this, since she's asleep. Temperatures falling into the 20s as we go late evening, and then eventually we're headed for the teens, not necessarily overnight tonight, but definitely Friday morning. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. First thing in the day, temperatures in the 20s, 23 degrees, 26 by 11 a.m. Watch the clouds drift from north to south. Some flurries coming off of Lake Michigan. Don't think many of us will see those, but it's possible. 26, the afternoon high in Peru. Temperature in Indy, 29. We just don't respond to the afternoon sunshine much because of the cold wind direction. Friday, it's a nice turnaround. 34 may sound a little on the cold side, but when I say cold start, this is what I mean. Temperatures in the lower teens from Lafayette to Kokomo and Marion North, 14 in Petersburg and Anderson. The metro area, 15 degrees, skies will clear out. Then as you look to the south, temperatures in the upper teens, and afternoon temperatures, as I mentioned, still below average, but we'll have lots of sunshine on Friday. What changes for the weekend? Temperatures warm up. 45 Saturday, 48 on Sunday. I think that rain holds off until later Sunday night. Rain is likely to start next week. Looking beyond the 7-day forecast, indications are it will be a cold start to March, the end of February, and then February is followed by March.
Right,
so
that's what happens in the calendar. Thanks,
I had to convince myself of that first.
Still ahead here on RTV6, shining the light on teen dating violence. Why schools maybe need to do more.
Now at MartinAcura.com.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV, and we are on a verdict watch in the Harvey Weinstein case. The 67-year-old disgraced movie producer is facing 5 felony charges. He's accused by 6 different women of rape and other sexual misconduct. But Weinstein maintains that the acts were consensual. Today, the jury sent a request for a readback of testimony from complaining witness Mimi Halle, along with some other emails between her and Weinstein. The former production assistant accused the defendant of forcibly performing oral sex on her at his apartment in July of 2006. We are also in Tampa, Florida for another high-profile case against former ice cream man Michael Keatley. The 48-year-old is accused in a deadly Thanksgiving Day shooting nearly a decade ago that killed 2 men and injured 4 others. The state claims that Keatley was acting as a vigilante, seeking justice after he was shot in an armed robbery. Tuesday, the prosecution rested its case in chief, and the defense chose to put on a case, calling the defendant's sister, who testified about Keatley's demeanor in the hours after that deadly shooting. Jessica Hadley contradicted the state's vigilante theory, testifying that she was unaware that her brother was looking for people responsible for his armed robbery.
Did he, meaning the defendant, ever share with you that he was asking people along his ice cream route for information to help him determine who shot him?
Not to me, no.
Did he ever share with you that he was asking specifically for the whereabouts or the identity of someone named Creeper.
No. The defense case continues today. Stay with Court TV for gavel-to-gavel coverage of these cases and all of America's most compelling criminal trials. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
Julie, thank you. You can learn more about other cases around the nation right now at courttv.com. Dating violence among teens is a growing problem. Now school policies are being looked at as a way to curb the growing number of students impacted by it.
A Ball State University study shows most schools don't have a plan when it comes to handling teen dating violence. Meanwhile, more than half of high school principals interviewed for the study say they have helped survivors of dating violence within the past 2 years. That abuse can be physical, emotional, or mental, and in today's world, online. And advocates say that's why strong policies are needed.
It clarifies for staff what their responsibilities are. It gives them guidance. Most policies include training for staff to prepare them to notice when abusive behaviors are happening so that they can proactively intervene and stop it before it escalates.
She says because of the federal Title IX law, all Indiana schools are supposed to have policies in place when it comes to violence and abuse. We have much more information on how to stop teen dating violence right now at the IndyChannel.com.
New in our next hour at 6 o'clock, major changes planned for a popular downtown Carmel corner. What could be torn down, what may go in its place, and why not everyone is happy about it.
But first on the Now Indy, a local woman shares her serious health scare, and it could make all the difference for other women. You're watching RTV6.